All right, good morning, everyone. We'll call to order the PSTA Executive Committee meeting for September 4th, 2024. And thanks, everyone, for joining today. Do we have any public comment? No public comment, so we'll close public comment. We have a couple of action items today. The first action item is to approve the August 7th, 2024 minutes, and I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the CEO evaluation and compensation. And for that, we have Brad Miller this
Okay.
morning. Hi.
Well, yeah, this is always my favorite. And really, I wanted to delegate this to our HR director, Trish, but she is sick today. Yeah, so hopefully she'll be better by the board meeting to present it. First of all, I want to thank the board for, I think we have gotten 12 evaluations. Thank you very much for everyone who did that. And there, you have those in your packet, everyone's evaluation. I think they were very helpful, and they showed throughout most of them either consistent or improved. I think all of them showed either consistent or improved scores for the board members that have been on for more than a year. And then even from some improved scores from some of the newer board members. So the recommendation today at the Executive Committee, we no longer have a Personnel Committee at PSTA. The Executive Committee serves as the Personnel Committee to conduct this evaluation. And the recommendation today is just consistent with the regular HR policies that all PSTA employees are subject to adjust my compensation by 3% based on these scores. Now, what I wanted to just quickly touch upon, because there were some questions at the last board meeting about this, and then just how this fits into context of all of our employees, because that's the most important thing to me, is that I am treated the same way as all of the PSTA employees in the budget. So a large group of our employees, their compensation adjustments are TBD. That's our union, because we're currently in negotiations right now. We have two unions at PSTA. We have a smaller SEIU union of our supervisors. That's about 30 employees that are the first line of supervisors over the drivers and maintenance. And they have a 3-year agreement in place that gives them a 3% increase this year. They got a 3.5% last year, and then they are guaranteed a 3% increase next year. So we've got that in the books. The larger union, though, which is all of the drivers, the maintenance employee, all of the technicians, and then the customer service reps, that's being negotiated by James Bradford right now. Later in our agenda, we'll look at the board agenda for the 18th. The goal is theoretically still to have that ratified by the 18th, so the PSA board can approve that contract, which expires on October 1st. I'm not too hopeful at this point that is going to happen. They're still negotiating on that, so that might have to go a little bit longer, and then, which shouldn't be a problem. Then we'll probably that will be retroactive back to October 1st for those employees. So I would think that this 3% for the administrative employees that we currently are planning is obviously subject to successful negotiations with our union employees to at least that much. I think that at least that it certainly where the union stands right now is they want a lot more than that. They want a lot more than 3% increase. Right now in the budget, we have budgeted 3.5% for the union, and then the administrative employees are all getting are eligible to get a 3% adjustment to their compensation. There were some questions at the meeting, exactly at the board meeting, from board members about what exactly is the performance evaluation that board members are asked to do related to the CEO, because obviously it's my job to actually run the day-to-day PSDA operations, and it's probably a good thing, but most board members don't have like intimate knowledge of what actually goes on a day-to-day basis to get the buses out driving around Pinellas County and all the other activities, the world that Debbie lives in with grants and budget and finance and Al Burns stuff and all that. That's okay. That's the sausage. And the performance evaluation process that we've crafted at PSDA tries to respect that role that the board has. A lot of organizations have gone, like PSDA, to a performance scorecard method to govern to take what the board sets as goals and drive it down throughout the whole organization so everyone is working toward the goals, and that is what we use. So 75% of the overall score for the CEO is based on that organizational scorecard, which we're going to review the Q3, that the executive committee reviews every quarter with Trish, and then the board sets the goals. Those are sort of the high-level goals that we have to work on over the year, and they're almost all of them are outcome-based goals about how well we're performing. The goal of PSDA is to safely move people and provide good public transportation. So that is basically what that scorecard sort of evaluates. At the highest level of the organization, the CEO, 75% of the score is based on those outcomes of PSTA, just how we did on ridership and all those other characteristics. As you go down, then I think it might be 75% also for the top level management employees of PSTA, but then they also get, they have a certain percentage of their score based on their department that they have more control over, like the marketing department for Amanda or the finance department. And then down at the lower, more entry-level employees, most of their evaluation is based on their own personal goals, what they can control, and what they're assigned to do, their personal scores. So that percentage of 75-25 might be flipped, where 75% might be on their personal goals and 25% on the organizational goal as you go down in the organization. So then what's left for the board to evaluate, and what you have done, is sort of how, not what I might have accomplished or didn't accomplish during the year. That's in the scorecard. But if I was a big jerk and yet we accomplished all of our goals, that would not be good either. So the goal of what the evaluation that you all filled out was for us to sort of evaluate how I did my job really interacting with the PSTA board. That's something that you do know about. And then same thing for all of the managers at PSTA. They are evaluating their employees on, yes, okay, you met your goals, but were you a good communicator? Did you interact well with the team? Whatever. That is what the board members are asked to evaluate, not how the marketing department works or how the grants or anything like that. So I think I'll have Trish give some of that little example. That is for all the non-union employees at PSTA. That's how the performance evaluation process works.
So that's a different slide than what I have that I'm showing. Is there a reason for
Yeah,
that?
it was
Yes,
just
we just-
updated 10 minutes ago. If you hit refresh,
Okay.
it might have the new one, I just put it in.
Okay, rookie.
So basically, Brad, what you're saying is that the performance scorecard portion of the evaluation is the objective part.
Correct.
Like, it's got
Yes, exactly.
numbers and either, you know,
Yeah.
either you did or you didn't. Whereas the board evaluation is a little bit more subjective and based on our perceptions of how you've accomplished these things.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Brad, I have a quick question. You mentioned the union, you want to give them a 3.5% raise, and you said they want more. Do you know how much more they want?
Debbie?
I do. The last I heard, they wanted 10%, 8, and 5.
What did we give them the last time?
We gave them, I believe, 3.5%.
Right.
And then they came back to the board a couple months later during the inflationary time and asked for more, and it equated out to be around $11
Yes, we gave
million.
it to them, okay, and the cost of living.
So they became the number one in the state for a while, for the operator being number one. They're now still, they're number 3, I believe, in the whole state for the highest. The other two are Miami and West Palm?
Jackson.
Broward.
Broward, okay.
But right, I mean, you might recall there was, we signed in 2021, so we're at 2024, we're 3 years later, we signed a labor agreement with the larger union, 3.5% each year. And then it was just 3 months later, after we had signed that contract, that inflation was skyrocketing. It was 9%, and the union, you might, if you were here, you recall they all came to the meeting, and they expressed really concern about the growing inflation and all sorts of other things. And then so we had a sort of amendment that the PSA board voted on and approved to just the wage part of the agreement. We didn't reopen the whole contract, but we just basically amended the wages and increased them, as Debbie just said, by like another 11%, and increased the first entry-level employees to $15 to make sure, $15 an hour. Now we're up to 16 for entry-level employees, which helps us with being competitive with our friends across the way. They're Amazon and others for employees. So that's where we stand now. At that moment, as Debbie said, they were very happy to be the highest paid bus operators in the state of Florida, which is the first that's ever happened. Always South Florida has been a little bit higher. And the cost of living is higher down there. But then PSA was number 1. Now, Miami, all their unions have had new contracts as well, so now they've leapfrogged PSA a little bit. But I think that's what James is dealing with mostly.
Okay,
But
thank you.
we're hopeful that they will be able to come out with some sort of arrangement, hopefully by the October meeting, so it's not retro too far
Okay,
into the future.
perfect,
It just may
thank
take
you.
a little more time. That would be the only change to my agreement with PSTA, as this slide shows. Everything else would stay the same. Basically, I fall under most of the same provisions that the rest of the PSA administrative employees fall under. There's
So,
the
if you
recommendation.
Keep it there. Do we have any questions about the evaluation or the compensation recommendation? If not, I'll entertain a motion to recommend to the board
So moved.
approval of a 3% merit adjustment to PSTA CEO's compensation and to an annual amount of $262,847.
Second?
The That's okay.
We had a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Brad, for all you do.
Yes.
It was very nice to see the evaluations that did come in. I thought were very thoughtful
Yeah.
and reflect the great job that you're doing, and also some areas where you can work to improve, because no matter how fabulous you are, you've always got room for improvement, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
what when PDM told me, it's like, who didn't do it? I guess I'm just curious.
Me.
How many board members went to?
Commissioners
You're not on here?
Reed, Walker, and Petrola.
Walker?
And I'm not so sure if Commissioner Walker feels comfortable doing it since he's only been on the board for
Right.
one meeting.
I didn't, I got a new laptop. You had to reset my password, so I had a 10-day wait. And I always, I could have done it absolutely right in the very beginning when it came out. I'm like, I got time, the 31st, and we went to Tennessee, and it was nothing. And I tried the night of, we came back, and it was like, nope, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sure if you've got some feedback for Brad, you guys have in your next one-on-one, you can give him a verbal evaluation.
I think he's good. He's good.
All right, good. So next, we have in our information items the quarter 3 scorecard, but with Trish out, is that something we should?
Well, I
Do
can
you
cover
wanna
it in
just
her
fly through
absence.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is, we're coming to the end. We're 26 days away from being at the end of quarter 4. So this presentation, this is quarter 3's score, but we're quickly working on quarter 4 as well. And you can see that the overall score at the very, is this a slide? No.
I did, yeah, I did.
Oh, it is, okay,
I
yeah.
did put them in there real quick.
Okay, yeah, so the score for quarter 3 was a 91, bringing our overall for the year through 3 quarters through June 30th to a 93. Again, going from left to right on this scorecard, the overall strategies, I'll call them called strategy, on the very left-hand side are the top, sort of the 3 buckets, 3 priorities that the PSTA board and the adopted strategic plan call for, and those haven't changed. I think for fiscal year 25, we've changed the middle strategy, environmental sustainability, to something different. I think it's just maybe called sustainability or resiliency, perhaps.
Resilience.
I think we just changed the name of it. But otherwise, then these metrics that are listed down the page are then sort of supposed to be examples or metrics that we can track to see if we're performing that goal. Then it's color coded by the number. If it is at the identified goal points, it's green. If it's close, it's yellow, and if it's falling behind, it's red. So you can see that. I'll just quickly go highlight a couple of red items there. The reduced greenhouse gases and criteria air pollutants has been 0 this whole year, and I think that is mostly reflective of a challenge that we've had in tracking that, more than the fact that we are polluting the air a lot more than we have been. But so I'm hopeful we've changed that, and APTA has even changed the way they we're supposed to calculate that for the APTA goal. So you'll see changes to that going forward. Passengers for revenue hour has gotten better. The ridership really rebounded during the spring break period, and you can see that reflected there, that we went from 2 yellows in the first 2 quarters to a green in quarter 3. And I think we've kept pace here in quarter 4 on that. Clearwater Transit Center project is moving along. We're close to getting to 60% design this fall. And then, as it points out, we're working with the city right now on procuring an artist to provide public art at the corner. In the city of Clearwater's code, the corner of Court and Myrtle avenues right there is considered a key corner. And a lot of city codes have this designation, and so there will be some public art, probably in the form of some kind of landscaping right at that corner. And that's what the artist will do there. Slipping a little bit behind on our implementing of a new small business enterprise program. There has been work on this by Al and his procurement team, and we'll hopefully have a small business program rolled out early next fiscal year. We have a DBE, a Disadvantaged Business Enterprise program at PSTA that we're required to have by law. That has been very robust and growing, and then it was Al's idea to layer on top of that a small business program to try to promote small businesses. Even if they don't qualify as a DBE, they still could qualify as a small business, and to try to promote just more competition for our services. So that's what that is. Happy to answer any questions about the update.
No questions from me. Good job.
Yeah, that's good.
Trish would have done it better.
I agree.
Yeah.
She would have.
No, I'm kidding.
You did good. The only question I do have, Chair, if I may,
Yeah.
is the reduced greenhouse gases and criteria air pollutants. I thought we were doing better with our purpose and mission of the reduction of the greenhouse gases. So what is the plan? Since that does not seem to be the case for all 3 quarters.
Darren, do you have any update on that?
Good morning. Great question. Darden Rice, Chief of Planning and Community Affairs. Chairwoman, the Director of Planning, Heather Sobush, one of our senior planners, Devin Deal, and I just got back from the APTA Sustainability Conference in DC last week, where we were able to gather a lot of the new update, cutting-edge things that APTA is doing in terms of updating their reporting metrics, and also hearing some real on-the-ground stories of what other transit agencies in the country are doing. So we came back super inspired. To answer your question directly, we are working with one of our current contractors, AECom, who we currently have an agreement with, and we're going to work with them to update their software. So once we are able to do that, we're going to be able to enter all of our information, all the utility information from our bills, our water bills, and we'll be able to plug in the information about how we're doing. And I think that based on just our current performance, some recent decisions by the board to purchase electric buses, we're going to be able to turn those red squares and those big egg zeros into some good numbers, because I know everybody here cares about that.
And that was my curiosity about the buses, but if I'm hearing you correctly, we're looking at campus-wide.
Yes.
Okay,
that's the
gotcha.
goal.
Yes,
That's the goal. Okay.
it's looking at the role of our buildings, and really all of our buildings, not just here at headquarters,
Okay,
but
gotcha.
all of the PSTA assets.
Okay, because I was focused for whatever reason solely on the buses, but you just answered that question. Okay, thank you for that.
Sure.
All right. And is the new, Clearwater Transit Center, does that have, do we have sustainability goals or like a lead goal or anything like that for?
Yes, we are, the contract we have with the CDM Smith Architecture, Engineering, and Design team does have goals for it to be a LEED certified building.
Mm-hmm.
It would be PSA's first.
That's great.
At what level? I can't remember what Abhishek just told me, was what they were thinking they could get to.
Okay,
But yeah,
yeah, that's great. So that will figure, long-term, we're gonna see projects like that really moving these numbers too. So they may be red now, but
and
we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and to your point, it takes a little while to see how they perform before we get that data that we can really hang our hat on. But we're making all of the right lead indicator decisions to get that lag number. That looks good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Would it be helpful to add that, like you have explanations for that? Because somebody else may have thought the same thing, because we're a transportation. I was only thinking transportation is what we were trying to,
Yeah.
to just a bus only. If we can add a slight little narrative like we have in other areas.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think that's a great idea.
Because I went straight to the buses.
Yeah.
That's I was like, well, but we're working really hard. Why
We
are
are.
zeros? Okay.
And it could be something, something simple. It
Real
could be
simple.
one-
Sure.
one or two lines.
And Madam Chair, my dream, which I've told Darden about my dream, is that not only is it that we could somehow measure not only the pollution of our buses and of our facilities and of this room and everything, but the biggest positive impact of PSDA is the cars that people are not driving around Pinellas County, or the tourists won't have to take to Clearwater Beach, or it is the impact of the ridership on our different services that is our biggest impact overall, and to try to track that also. I mean, that's really the purpose of PSDA is. I mean, we're always going to have this building, but if we can improve the service and get more people to ride, then we can have a bigger impact on our community.
That would be good.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, next is the draft September board agenda.
So this is another historical moment in PSDA history, I think, where we will be having, I think this is the first time ever, the Finance Committee
Oh,
and the Planning Committee meet the same day as the board meeting. So
Wow.
yeah.
we have I think it'll be a relatively light PSDA agenda following the second budget hearing at 6 p.m. that night. The couple items I wanted to address, like I said, the union agreement probably is not probably won't make it, but I don't know. We'll keep hope alive for a little bit longer on that. We will be thanking two fine board members who will have their last board meeting, Josh Schulman and Vince Cox. The Greyhound license agreement. So Greyhound Bus Lines has I think 3 buses a day come through Pinellas County, north and south from Tampa, and then also from Fort Myers up to Pinellas County. For a long time, they had a Greyhound bus station down in St. Petersburg, but they sold that, and it no longer is there. And 5 years ago, they signed a lease agreement with PSDA to have the Greyhound stop in Pinellas County at the Pinellas Park Transit Center. which is where the Greyhounds come in to, and that actually provides. I think it's still like $9 on Greyhound to get to Tampa from Pinellas Park, and so some people even just go that short distance on that. So it's a benefit, and that lease needs to be renewed.
Do you have, it looks like I'm not the only one that just got kicked off.
I had to refresh it.
Yeah,
I
so I'm
tried.
still waiting. Brett, I'm just wondering if there's a PowerPoint for this that you can bring up on the screen
It's
while
giving
we're.
me an error.
While we're
It
waiting.
wants me
It
to
kept
type
saying
that
update
password.
task, and I refreshed it,
Freddie,
and then it
did you
came
use
up.
it?
Oh, okay. So try that, that's better.
Let's try refresh.
I did refresh, and then it came up, because it kept
Oh.
asking for my password twice.
Oh,
So then I got all the way
that
back
must be a
out
Granicus.
and refreshed it. And
I got
then-
all the way up too, and it,
Oh, is this?
I
There we go.
I can try to find
you're a
it.
cheat.
Okay.
Thank God you're here.
What?
So, yeah, so hit that.
Get all the way out.
Okay, go back. Okay, now hit the refresh button right there. All right, now try it. Yep, now try it. There you go. Boom.
We're back in business.
Now we're back.
Back in business.
All right, now go ahead. Greyhound.
A little. I don't think it'll be a big issue on the Greyhound lease agreement, but Commissioner Scott's company that he owns is called an affiliate, has an affiliate relationship to Greyhound, and so Commissioner Scott will be recusing himself from this vote.
Does he want us to, do you know if he wants us to pull this item and vote on it separately so that he can vote on the rest of the consent agenda items?
I think he'll want to. I have my
Okay.
call with him tomorrow. We're going to talk about it.
So
yeah.
is it possible to just do that and change
Oh,
the
yeah, I
agenda?
can. I
Yeah,
can
we
move it to
can just
action.
put it as already
A separate
on the.
report item or whatever?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Or, yeah.
The second item on the consent agenda is something related to the two of our members of the executive committee that Whit Blanton asked me to do. So with the governor's approval of the reapportionment plan for Fort Pinellas, PSDA board last week approved the our amendment, just like all of the cities that have members on Fort Pinellas approved. But then Whit told me that we also had to, for some reason, name our board member. Or else the state would name them if we didn't do that by October 4th. So what I'm recommending is that we reappoint the current PSTA appointee to Fort Pinellas, Chair Gina Driscoll, to be the board member for the remainder of this calendar year till the end of December 31st. That's what we do on September 18th to meet the WIT's October 4th deadline. Then the nominating committee of PSTA meets on September 20th, 2 days after the board meeting, and they will make a recommendation on the 2025 Fort Pinellas board member that we will then vote on at the board level in October.
And that would be effective January 1.
January 1, yeah.
When does the nominating committee meet?
September 20th.
September 20th at 1 o'clock.
I will not be here that one. It's the Florida League of Cities. I'm on the FMIT board for the league, so
Are you on the nominating committee?
I just got on.
When is NLC, National League of Cities?
No, it's just the FMIT board for the 20th, so I'm on that board for the Florida League of Cities.
Okay, so no national.
It's just
League,
our
it's the
board that
following
meets.
week.
National League of
The
Cities is
following
in
week.
November.
We don't have a count. Oh, we do
So
And
Gina,
it'll
in
say that.
January, you're gonna stay on that board, but you'll be on that board for St. Petersburg, correct?
That's what I requested.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
it's
right, yeah.
because I would be moving from, because St. Petersburg is going to, oh, you're on it too, so you know. St. Petersburg will have 4 seats. Right now, we have, St. Petersburg has 2. For a couple of reasons, I have volunteered to take one of those seats and have the PSTA seat appointed to someone else, presumably Vice Chair Saraki. One of the reasons is that that would mean there are 5 people from St. Petersburg. You know, and as we've discussed in that meeting, even though I'm there representing PSTA, I can't not be a St. Petersburg person, you know what I mean? So, it may be a little bit of a challenge to find 4 St. Petersburg City Council members who will commit to Fort Pinellas, especially given that we have 2 open seats that are going to be elected in November, and you know, all kinds of things going on. And so I thought that might be in the best interest of everyone if I take one of those seats. However, that's not something that has been decided yet. And I believe the administration is talking with WIT about what the timeline needs to look like to make those appointments happen. And our city council chair will certainly, I think, be involved in that, because I think even if it's a mayoral appointment, city council has to confirm it. So,
Okay.
so I know that St. Petersburg is working through that on the city side. So I'm glad that this is being worked out. I'm just hoping it doesn't turn into a musical chairs thing where I'm left without a seat, because I actually enjoy serving on Fort Pinellas.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
No.
I think
So
you
it's,
could.
it sounds like I would continue to serve in the PSTA seat through the end of the year. The new 19-member Fort Pinellas board will be appointed in the next month,
Right.
but then seated in January.
Is that
Right,
correct?
and that has been the plan all along for PSDA anyway. It's just that I didn't realize that when the reapportionment thing happened with the state, that they basically kicked out all the current Fort Pinellas board members, and everyone had to reappoint their person.
Oh, okay.
That's what Whit told me.
Yeah.
And so
Makes sense.
that's what
Okay.
this would just do, just sort
So-
of keep you on until the end of the year,
Okay.
officially.
Makes sense.
And just so you know, for our city, we lost Tarpon Springs. Now they have their own seat.
Oh,
So
right.
now we split a seat with Safety Harbor, and our seat expires, the city of Olds Mills expires in December. And then we are gonna hand that over to Safety Harbor, and Safety Harbor will pick somebody to be on the Fort Pinellas board.
So you won't have a seat?
Our city will not have a seat.
Oh, wow.
Nope.
Well, the Safety Harbor represents you. You have a
Safety
seat.
Harbor represents us,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes,
it's probably
yeah.
like they combine because of the
It
amount
used to
of-
be Tarpon,
Population.
Safety Harbor, because Tarpon Springs population has grown, they have their own seat now. So now we just split that seat, 3-year term with Safety Harbor.
We just do the same.
So we don't need to vote on recommending that Chair Driscoll remains or is reappointed as far as PSTA for Fort Pinellas. We're just
Oh,
going to
well.
assume that that's what we're going to do.
I mean, would you as the executive committee like to just make that recommendation to the board? That would be,
I think it would be
Okay by
more
me.
formal if we did
Yeah.
a formal.
I
Okay.
agree. Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
So do we need to make a motion on that, or are we just doing it
Yeah.
as an executive committee to make that recommendation, or?
Well.
I mean, you
I'll make a
can't make it
motion.
because we're voting, we're talking about you, so does that need to come from one of us to just make a formal recommendation that we keep Chair Driscoll as the PSTA
Through the end of the year.
representative through the end of the year?
I second her motion.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Thank you, everyone. really honored to represent PSTA. I'm actually going to be going to the Ford Pinellas meeting next week. I have it on my calendar. And sit in the meeting and just try to learn and be there live for PSTA. So I'll be attending.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Bring something to
Let
drink.
Commissioner Long know, since she's the chair for Pinellas, so she can recognize you. Make sure that she sees that you're there. She likes to
Absolutely, yeah.
recognize
Yep.
the folks that attend. And I'm delighted. I'm currently serving as secretary for Pinellas, and I'm actually joining WIT tomorrow. So this week is the American Planning Association's annual conference, and it's taking place in Tampa. And tomorrow morning, I'll be getting up super early, thanks WIT, to drive over to Tampa because he and I are going to be on a panel discussion along with WIT's counterpart in Hillsborough for their MPO and Hillsborough County Commissioner Gwen Myers for a panel discussion on effective communication with elected officials. So I'm looking forward to that and
Wow, that's great.
representing, PSTA and
Thank you for doing that.
Wonderful.
and Fort Pinellas in that. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to getting up super early because it starts at 8:15. I'm like, well,
I mean, you need to be on the road by 7.
Yeah.
7.
You have to
Yeah.
hit the bridge
Traffic.
before 7, otherwise you get stuck in that
Yeah, take the Gander.
craziness.
Yeah, I'm going to be caffeinated and dedicated.
Take the Gander.
Get that done. But it's exciting, and there's some really good things going on with Fort Pinellas right now. I think there are some advantages to having an expanded board. I think there will be more inclusive representation across Pinellas County with us having so many municipalities involved. And I know that the folks in Tarpon Springs are excited, and that they'll have they feel that they'll have more of a seat at the table. And as our county is growing, Fort Pinellas is becoming more and more important in making those smart decisions about our growth, both in development and transportation. So, good things ahead.
Excellent.
All right. Action items, you kind of talked about both of those already.
Correct.
And because the union negotiations are ongoing, I think it's probably in our best interest to limit discussion on that.
Yes, and in fact, like I said, we will move the Greyhound to the
To the action items, okay, great. Anything else that you wanted to point out that you have in store for us for the board meeting?
No, other than that this will immediately follow the budget hearing. Budget hearing number 2, it's on the 18th. Tonight is budget hearing number 1.
The meeting on September 18th, is that going to be Commissioner Schulman's last meeting as a PSTA board member?
And Vince Cox.
And Vince Cox, yes. Their board meeting. There is this nominating committee on this September 20th that Commissioner Schulman is coming to. That'll be his official last act.
Oh, excellent. And has the Board of County Commissioners selected their
They have
new
not.
representative?
Not yet, no.
We still have to vote on it.
I think it's next meeting for them.
Well, I know it's an evening meeting on the 18th because we have the public hearing. But I hope that you'll make some time to really honor and recognize both of those commissioners for their service, because they've not only served for a long time, but they've been active.
They have, they really have.
Very engaged and truly working in the best interest of Pinellas County and our bus riders. And I'm going to miss them both very much. So
Yeah.
I hope we've got a great send-off planned for them.
I hope so too. I also will come up with something.
Give them a steak dinner or something.
Something.
No, when I first came on PSTA, they were on the finance committee. I learned so much from Josh and from Vince being on that committee. They were very helpful in my growth with PSTA, and I'm with Gina. I'm going to miss those guys.
Yeah. I will too. I think both of them brought their different passions, and then they got stuff done to make the system better how they wanted to.
Especially Vince with the paratransit.
Yes,
I mean, he was
right.
like resilient on that. I mean, he was like,
Tenacious.
yeah.
Nation, yes.
yeah.
Well, yeah, they've both really contributed a lot, and these days it's the people who are showing up and contributing are standing out more and more all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you'll be recognizing them. The person that we have coming in for to take Commissioner Schulman's spot, Max McCann, he has spoken in front of PSTA before, so you'll recognize him.
Okay.
He's also spoken in front of Fort Pinellas and St. Petersburg City Council. I know that he is a strong advocate for transit. He's a strong advocate for transit-oriented development, and
He's an attorney.
I'm really good.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he is an attorney.
Didn't know that.
So he brings sort of that perspective to things, and he's also a great advocate for his neighborhood, which is the Palmetto Park neighborhood. So, yeah. So, looking forward to miss Commissioner Schulman, but looking forward to having
Yeah.
Mr. McCann joining us.
Cool.
And I'm sure that the Board of County Commissioners will have a fine selection.
Yes, they have like 9 applicants.
Oh, wow.
We had 11. Did they say when they were gonna vote?
It's great that there's so much interest.
Yes.
Well,
It's awesome.
I think it might be next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a comment during our selection process that it was a shame that we only had one seat because we had
Really good candidates.
we had a few really strong candidates, and I hope that there's a spot for them in another way to help serve. All right, did we have any other business for today?
Thanks.
All right, thanks, everyone. The meeting's adjourned. Next
Thank
meeting,
you.
oh, sorry, next meeting's at October 9th at 10 a.m. And we're adjourned.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you.
Great job.
Thanks.
That's not on my agenda. I'm gonna add it right now.
October 9th?
Yeah, it's not